Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to the Tinker Shed. So, as you remember, Karl actually went and bought this bike. He got a great deal on it, and he's had a bit of time to ride around, and now he's come up with a couple things he wants me to do. The first thing is address this windshield here. So, it's nice that it has this Spitfire windshield, but for him it sits a little bit high and it tends to flop around a little bit. Now, the owner that he bought it off of said that the previous owner actually had it fastened down below, and he actually has some brackets that he gave to Karl to do that. But in order to make that work, it has to be lowered. The previous owner actually added a couple inches in height here, and Karl really wants it low anyway. And to add to that, the bars have actually been rotated forward to make this windshield work. Now, I think I can actually rotate this back and put the windshield on the other side of the bars. So that's what we're going to try to do today on Dino's Tinker Shed. Well, here's what I want to look at. You can see that the last person's added this, I don't know, 1.5 or 2 inches of aluminum onto the original posts here. And I think that I can actually reverse it and put these holders to the inside of the bar. You can sort of see they've tipped the bar so far forward that Karl said when he rides it, it's a really weird feeling the way that the bars are tipped. So I'm going to take these off and rotate the bars back to start. And then we're going to see if these will actually fit the other way once I take these posts off. Okay, let's have a look. Now, this windscreen is an American-made Slipstreamer Spitfire and is one of the most popular aftermarket windscreens on the market today. And I believe the previous owner wanted a little additional height, so they ordered these additional parts, which includes this collar with these grub screws and that additional piece of aluminum rod. So they tightened these down and then added this blue tape to stop those grub screws from backing out. I think it worked okay, but you probably just could have used Loctite. Now, the bars themselves are held in place with these grub screws down here, and I'll just loosen these off. Now, all of this hardware is Imperial, so you know that it's American made. And what happens, you loosen those off, give them a little loop, and wiggle it out, and out comes the windscreen, just like that. Now what I think I can do is actually loosen this off as if it was a large nut from the back side. So I'm just going to tighten it onto there and see if I can make it move. And, oh, of course, oh, no, it's coming. That's actually going to work. Perfect. And I'll just replace those cap head screws with new ones. But let's get this off of here. I don't want to scratch his tank, obviously. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Look at that. All right, there we go. And I should have something to replace that with. But for now, let's get these off. Okay, now to replace those damaged cap bolts, I think I have something right here that'll do the trick. Okay, let's have a look. So I think this is the right thread pitch, which it is, but these are a little bit longer, so I'll have to take 2 of those and I'll cut them down. That's the easiest way to do it. So these are just a 5/16 18 cap head bolt. Like I said, they're the same as this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these off, but before I do that, I'm going to take just a regular old nut and I'm going to thread that down on there, and that way after I cut that off I can back that nut back out and it'll reform the threads after I grind them. So I guess I'm just going to have to mark them and go from there. To mark this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little welder's trick, which is to use soapstone. And I'm just going to
kind of line it up there and put a little white mark on it with that soapstone, and that'll give me a place to cut with the angle grinder. Now that's nowhere near being ready. We're gonna have to grind that as well. Let's do the other one. Now all I'm gonna do here is I've actually put the cap screw onto an Allen key, and I'm just going to bring it in and gently turn it like this just to ease the edge off. You'll see what I'm doing here. Looks pretty good. Let me do the other one. And if you hang on to the nut right here, you can actually pivot it right in your hand. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's spin these off, see how they turned out. Okay, let's see how this works, if all of our hard work paid off. So this should just, it's come a little hard here, should just come right off of there. There we go. And that cleans up the thread so that it's usable. Looks pretty good. Let's try it in here. Yeah, that's great. That'll work good. And while we're at it, we're gonna clean all these parts up too. I mean, they're a little dirty and crusty, so let's clean these up. See these little grub screws here? So they fit in the other end of the windshield here, and they're not fitting in very effectively here at all. It's kind of hard to show you here, but they really are not very good. So I'm going to see if I have a replacement for these, and then I'm going to chase these holes out with a tap just to clean them up so that they function a little bit better. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Looks about right, I think. Let's do a couple of those. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's really good. Let's try the other one here. Yeah, so those fit really good. I don't even think I need to retap them. They feel really good. Great. If you remember, this is the side that these brackets were originally on, and I'm going to reverse them over here. I'm going to actually put them to the inside now and see if we can make this work. So I'm just going to put them on really loose like this so that they're still mobile, and this way we can adjust them as we need them. Okay, we got them both on. Let's see if we can fit the windshield in. Okay, I've got this trimmed down. Let's see if this is any better. I'm hoping it will be. A little bit fussy, these things. I think we'll get it. Okay, so that brings it down quite a bit. And what I think I'm going to do is just raise this up and give that a little snug. Will that stay? Nope, of course it won't. It's going to be difficult to get these things tightened up, I'll tell you. Maybe what I'll do is I'll tighten these down first just to make them a little less wobbly and see if this helps. And then at least I'm only dealing with one aspect of it. Let's see here. Okay, and then I can tighten those down. Let's see what this is here, just out of curiosity. That's it. And that is a 4mm. Go just about there, and I don't want to over tighten these. They are just in aluminum. Let's see how this one's going to go here. Seems to work. Not the prettiest, I know, but hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I think just one more and it should be good. There we go. So these are the brackets that the guy had for these windscreens. So I'm gonna have to align it. These basically fit, I'll have to show you, but they basically fit on the fairing. There's a bolt that pinches this, and then this holds the underside of the actual windscreen. And these are homemade. Whoever did this did a great job. Like, I mean, these look just awesome. They really do. There's a little difference between the two of them, if you can see. And I'm not sure why, but we're gonna find out. It's probably custom. You see how the actual fairing's held on with this one little Phillips bolt? I think this goes here and it holds the bottom of the windscreen. So I'm just gonna try this now. I'll pull this out and see if I'm right about this. So check out this number. All right, I'll put it on here first. And then you're gonna see right here that it sort of pinches that fairing. Looks pretty good. And the same thing on this side. This one, I see why this one has the bend in it now. It's to get around the brake line. So whoever built these are pretty clever. I think I know who you are, Clifford. When Karl said he knew the guy who was selling this bike, what I didn't know was the original owner of this bike I actually worked with years ago, and is probably one of the smartest people I know. Creative, very inventive person. Okay, so let's do this again. All right, let's go in here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to the bike holder, also make it fast, just it is one of the work here. Okay, let's see. Alright, there it goes. Okay. Alright, so I think it needs to drop down. I'm going to fiddle a little bit with this and see if I can't get it down inside there. So I think overall this looks pretty good. It does look fairly straight to me. I got a little bit of tweaking that I want to do, but I think I can go ahead and tighten up all of these bolts and it should be done. Well, I think that turned out really good. It's smoking hot here in the shed today. It's about 30 degrees outside. For May, that's really, really hot. So I'm going to wrap it up. I think Karl's going to be really happy with this windscreen, and I'm hoping that he takes it for a toot and tells me what he thinks about it. So until next time, have fun, enjoy riding around, and I'll see you next time on Dino's Tinker Shed.